Peter Franklin is the Cabby in New York City, and standing by right now. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, good morning. I check everybody's shoes as they get into my yellow mobile conveyance lounge, and if they're wearing Nike sneakers, I don't let them in.
Okay. Yeah.
Get out!
Get out. You've got Nikes, you can run.
Or take the shoes off.
Yeah. You have a picture, I think, kind of interesting. There's a website out there that dispels myths, saying there's a picture out there of the Chinese government. It looks like people are about to be killed, right? Executed.
Yeah, it's a scary photo, and I saw it and it kind of struck my interest because it was on a website that kind of dispels myths. You know, they'll say that this is going on or that's not going on, and they clearly say that this picture, it's on the website Gabby.com, that's circulating, is not a picture of a bunch of Chinese prisoners who are about to be shot in the back of the head. Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of, it certainly looks like that's exactly what's about to happen, right?
That's right. I just put that there to scare your listeners, I guess.
What did they say they were doing?
It's just, I don't know what my purpose was in putting it on the website.
Okay, all right.
Remind everybody that I guess nice people in this world.
Every year, I was surprised to hear this, there are nearly 900 incidents on the subway in New York which involve someone on the tracks or hit by a train or getting too close. But they're trying to stop this, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just there's a lot of crazy people in the world, and a good percentage of them are in our subway system. It's a new problem that I guess people, maybe it's not such a new problem, but it's something that we weren't aware of, where people actually get down on the tracks, stand there, and hope, I mean, this is crazy, and hope that the engineers, the motorman's going to see them and stop the train in time. And there's a picture of that on the website also. It was filled with pictures today.
What do you think of the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation and this woman that has made these claims of inappropriate activity during a high school party?
My gut reaction is that I think she kind of got hustled in this thing by Feinstein and Schumer, and now she's going to have to dig herself out of it, because I think you're going to see as time goes on, it might have been a different person, a different time, a different something or other. She's not the bad person. I think Feinstein and Schumer are just terrible people.
There's a big story in New York City about the sale of Time Magazine, right? A couple has purchased Time Magazine.
Yeah, for $190 million. I mean, have you ever seen anybody reading it?
I've seen people at doctors' offices read it.
For nothing at motels, no one would be reading it. I just find that absolutely amazing that somebody would spend $190 million for a magazine.
Well, I think there's a lot of online now that they're switching to, or you can see stuff online.
Yeah,
but that's a lot of money. $190 million is a lot of money, I would say. And also, they're saying that fentanyl has been traced to more New York City overdose deaths than any other drug. It's a problem up here, but it's
an absolute epidemic. I don't know what's happening with you guys up there, but I mean, down here, it's the number one drug that's presenting the biggest problems, and they're making it like crazy, which I also think, by the way, comes from China, too. Maybe I'm doing a little China bashing today.
Well, with the big tariffs, all of these tariffs the president is imposing on China, they're reacting. It's got to be on your mind, I think. I don't think it's going to take away from your cab fares, but it's got to be on your mind. Here's a story that you have. You took two passengers to the Botanical Gardens and then the Bronx Zoo across the street, and then what happened?
Well, what happened is that I stayed and just visited with the zoo with them with a little bit, which was really kind of neat. And the reason I'm mentioning that this week is that really, folks, if you're coming to New York City, there's a lot of stuff to see, and you go to Times Square and you go to Coney Island. But don't forget the Bronx Zoo and the Botanical Gardens. They really are fantastic places. And I really highly recommend it. I put it on my number one things to see, really.
And finally, I want to ask you about the Hurricane Florence and what seemed to be the overreaction by the weather services out there.
Well, with people getting hurt and flooded out, I don't want to minimize it and make a joke out of it or a gag out of it. But you got to admit, I mean, this happens with the Weather Bureau all the time. It's going to be the worst. It's going to be the worst. It's going to be the worst. It's like you get the feeling that the guys at the Weather Bureau sell umbrellas, and they want to hustle everybody into buying one. I don't know. It just struck me that it didn't strike itself as bad. We're supposed to get a lot of rain today in New York, which is going to be an offshoot of it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we were supposed to. We were supposed to get much of that last night in the last 24 hours. There are parts of the area that have, but we didn't experience much of it at all. Anyway,
Mother Nature, don't mess with her.
And here's another thing too. When it comes to, you see these stories of looting. New York City's been hit. That's not something that happens in New York.
No, it isn't. It really isn't. I mean, to be a place, first of all, according to the FBI, if we can still trust them, we got the lowest crime rate of any place in the country. New York, I mean, we do have problems. It's a big city and all that, but it's a pretty safe city. I mean, it really is. And we've had situations in the past where we've had blackouts and floods and things like that. It's not, I don't know, I guess New York Cityites are not into the looting and rioting. So.
Don't loot. We don't loot. New Yorkers don't loot. It's the best tour in New York City. He'll take you to places that you probably don't even know exist. Go to Gabby.com for details. As always, Peter, we appreciate your time. We'll do it again next week.
You got it, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Peter Franklin, who really is a cab driver. And oftentimes, I think last week when we were talking with him, he was in the middle of, was it a tour or just?
Yeah, he's like, oh, I got to go.
He was in the middle of a tour. He was given a tour. So go to Gabby.com for details on all of that.